Visa applications in the modern age. Down under Visa are a modern and efficient migration agency practice. This is how we manage to take care of clients from all over Australia and all over the Philippines without the drudgery of having to come back and forth to an office lugging papers. It's 2017 after all. I'm technically what you'd call an old bloke in Australia. Note the grey hair. Born in 1965, educated in the 1970s, when calculators were still considered high-tech. We certainly weren't allowed to have them at school like they are now. Black and white TVs, phones with cords, one phone per house, no answering machines, yellow pages and the World Book Encyclopedia and newspaper ads for the windows on the world. Computers, well, I couldn't see any use for them, and I swore blind I would never touch one ever in my entire life. Goodness me, famous last words. How things change. And when it comes to visa applications, it's definitely better. None of you would have even heard of Down Under Visa if it wasn't for the internet and computers or smartphones, whatever you use. You probably wouldn't even have known that migration agents existed as a profession. You probably would never have even met your lovely Filipina girl either if it wasn't for the internet. And your relationship would have developed far slower if you were dependent on writing letters to each other with a postal service that generally took about 2 weeks to get a letter here and 2 weeks to get a letter back again. Couples these days can spend hours every day on Skype or Viber talking with webcams, absolutely free. And this is the way it works with every aspect of your life these days. You pay bills, most of the time you pay them online, better than spending your lunch breaks standing in a queue to pay the phone or the electricity bill. Remember those days? Even bank statements online whenever you want them. Anyone remember the days of having a single solitary bank branch that you could deal with and only open from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Monday to Friday? What an absolute pain that was. Down Under Visa and technology. Well, Down Under Visa are unashamedly high-tech. We use the internet, we use computers for practically everything that we do, and this is to make the process from start to finish so much easier and smoother for our clients and our prospective clients. And it really has made it easier, no question about it. Now, we used to rely on a PDF guidebook, PDF checklists. Now, it worked, but the information was limited, and the checklists, of course, didn't update by themselves. After a brainstorm of mine, we came up with the Migration Hub, which we launched in July 2014. And for those of you who don't know, this is our client portal, which Down Under Visa clients can log into and get their own documents, personalised to-do list, supporting information, frequently asked questions, and all the updates they come through that way. So you can access them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not having to wait for responses. Now, I just had a client, an IT man, actually. He told me how impressed he was with the hub and how easy to use he found it. And it most certainly is. I remember when it was first launched, the silence was almost eerie because the inquiries dropped to about a quarter of their former volume, and preparation time for visas started taking about half the time they were taking before, because it was just all there at their fingertips. They just worked their way through, and no confusion. Wonderful. Now, technology and Australian visa applications. Now, the old days of visa applications from Philippines to Australia meant a long line outside the Australian Embassy in Makati, paper forms and stacks of IDs and photos, letters, etc. These girls waiting patiently in line. Wait your turn to plop them on the counter along with your manager's cheque, which you had to get from the ANZ Bank and for whatever the amount of pesos it was at the time. And then head on back to the province to wait for letters asking for additional documents. Now, there were less applications being processed at the time, and I suspect there were more staff numbers, so it generally didn't take as long to process, and they also tolerated a lower standard of information and documentation as to what they asked for now. But it was a clumsy process and was far from easy or convenient, and was pretty hard on the shoe leather. These days no one gets into the embassy to lodge applications. You don't even get in to ask questions. Call them up and they'll just direct you to the website. Want to book an appointment there for a no impediment to marriage, NOIM certificate to marry in the Philippines? Well, you do that online. You have to book online now. You can't call up anymore. And most visa applications are lodged online now too, and the payments are all online. Acknowledgement letters and bridging visa grants, they come back within minutes of an electronic lodgement. Visa grants, they all come through by email too. There's no couriers, no stickers and passports anymore. And it means that we, as I said before, we can deal with clients everywhere too. The girls don't need to make long journeys from remote provinces into Manila to present documents to our office staff. Yes, if it's convenient for you to drop off documents with us, well, that's perfectly fine. That's never a problem. But you don't need to spend 8 hours on a bus to do this if you don't want to, and why would you? Down under visa staff, and me of course, well, we are fantastically good looking, but it's not really worth the trip if you can avoid it. Look, basically computers and internet processors are the way of the world these days. Everybody needs to know how to set secure passwords, or nearly said passports then, how to set secure passwords with uppercase letters and lowercase letters and numbers. Everyone needs to know how to copy and paste, how to upload things, how to download things. So it's not just us. Manual processes in just about everything you do are disappearing and being replaced with technology. You're not good with computers. I remember, and this was actually a true story, somebody's grandfather. I heard of a farmer once who drove a tractor through a gate because it didn't respond to him going, whoa! The horse was gone. He had to learn to drive a tractor. You need to become good with computers if you want to get anything done in the future. Simple as that. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it and you would like to subscribe, you can click on the little button down the bottom corner there, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are regular articles on aspects of Australian visas to the Philippines on www.downundervisa.com.au. There's a blog page you can subscribe to. There is a free visa assessment form, and there are regular articles on aspects of Australian-Filipino relationships, which you can see on www.filipinowives.com.au. If you can please share these articles and these videos on any of the social media that you use, we would appreciate that. Thank you.